non-skilled trades. So like car washes, landscaping, not the huge commercial landscaping, but just regular things like that, power washing. I do feel like, yes, maybe those are a little bit easier for someone on the outside to come in and be able to buy the business from a baby boomer, because this is what's happening. The baby boomers that have built these businesses, they have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million businesses. Some of them, I mean, I bought one not too long ago for $40,000 and it was a $2 million business. And then that automatically hits your top line revenue, you know?
She wants to know what business you bought now.
Get ready for the next iteration of you on your path to becoming wealthy. On this show, you'll get the insider's view on wealth creation, the class none of us got taught in school, with my co-host, daughter, and beginning investor, Sophia Bosch. And now, let's get started.
Welcome to the Becoming Wealthy podcast. I'm your host, Michelle, my co-host, Sophia. And we have today an amazing guest with us. She is a serial entrepreneur, investor. She's the founder of 3 companies, founder of Be Cool Enterprises, Be Cool AC and Heating, and Vita Restore. I am very excited to introduce you to her, Sophia, because she has a track record of building multi-million-dollar businesses. She has a very unique approach to building and scaling these businesses. And with that, I want to welcome Sara Brown to the podcast. How are you, Sara?
Hello, I'm very good. I'm coming from Houston, Texas. It's not too cold, not too hot, so we are good.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much for, taking the time to be here with us, Sara, and, pouring into Sophia. I want to expose her to as many, I would say, industries, entrepreneurial styles, types, leadership, types of businesses, just for her to see what's out there, in the world, and really, learn a little bit from everything. I have, by being in groups like the ones in which we met, and being with women of so many different industries, you cross-pollinate ideas and, transfer ideas from one industry to the other. And so with that, I wanted to ask you, so what got you going and started in the AC business? I hear that it's a boring but predictable business. So tell me a little bit about it.
You nailed it. Very boring, very predictable. But I just want to say I love what you and Sophia are doing. This is wonderful. And I just think it's such a gift. I would have loved to have something like this as a young girl, because I think it limits your options when you think you only have one route in life, which is like go to college and work for corporate, which is what I was told was my only choice. I didn't see any other vision for myself. So I just love that you're exposing her to that. I hope all her little friends are listening in and they see this too and know that anybody can really do anything. But I just love that women have more opportunities nowadays than just going only one trajectory. But how I fell into AC is just like that. I fell into it. Like I said, I had a trajectory. And so I went to college. And then after college, I went into corporate. And I started off corporate oil and gas for a while. I did like inside sales, customer service, things like that. And then when oil and gas took a hit in 2008, my bonuses and my commissions went down. And I was like, no, wait a minute. I got into this business because I wanted to make some money. And so I was like, okay, where else can I go apply my skills and, not have to worry about like the economy. And so that's what got me into HVAC. At that time, HVAC was the only thing hiring in my company and or in my city. And I was like, and it was booming. And so I was like, okay. So I went to the biggest HVAC company here in Houston, $600 million business. And I was like, I know how to sell. I don't know anything about ACs, or an HVAC for people who don't know is air conditioning and heating, but I didn't know anything about ACs. But I was like, listen, give me the information. I'll educate myself. And I know how to sell. I know how to talk to people. And so that's how I got into it, inside sales and HVAC, and then grew from there, from inside sales to customer service lead, to customer service call center manager, supervisor. And then once I started getting into like a director of customer service and operations, then oil and gas was taken off again. So then I moved back to oil and gas for a while. And then my husband was working as an HVAC technician. And with him working HVAC tech and me working as a corporate, director of operations and stuff like that. And I was in Americas and Middle East and Africa. That was my territory. So I was working around the clock in corporate, and I was just missing a lot of like home life. There was no home life balance at all. There was a lot of hustle. I was missing my daughter's first because she was at that time she was only one, and I missed a lot of her stuff. So I was just like, this is not conducive to a happy life. So both me and my husband, who were making really good money, we were like, what can we do? And so I said, let's take your HVAC skills, my somewhat management skills, and let's start an HVAC business. And that's where it took off with the HVAC business.
Oh, wow. And I mean, and you've grown that. Are you just serving the Texas market, or a specific submarket within Texas, or are you guys nationwide?
No, we're not nationwide. We have kept it like kind of local. So yeah, we're in Texas and we're not even all Texas. We are literally Northwest Houston. That is our market right now. Now, I will say we are currently in talks with strategic partnerships to scale the business further. We started off with commercial residential. I was scaling it on my own, but as time has come past, I have realized that I love like the investing. I love the operation level. I love to be an LP, a limited partner of businesses. I don't necessarily love operating only one business because I have ADD. I'm like all over the place. So I just realize I have little tentacles that want to like reach everywhere. So I prefer to work as like the visionary in the business, in businesses. I love to serve as like the mouthpiece, because we can talk about this later, but the trades, a lot of people don't feel like it's lucrative. And so I've been doing talks at colleges and stuff like that to just let people know, women and men alike, that there's a lot of money in the trades. And so I just have a lot of endeavors that I like to do that are outside of just working as the operator of one business. And so we've kind of just I've branched out in that way. So we've kept it local, and right now we are in talks. I've sold off the commercial property, the commercial HVAC side of the business. I was not interested in that, so we sold that off a couple of years ago. And then now we are in talks to partner with private equity that is going to. They've already got the scale down in other cities like Scottsdale is Phoenix. Scottsdale is very popular.
Yeah.
Orlando, Florida, Tampa Bay. So they've already done this elsewhere. So now they're trying to get into the Houston market.
Yeah, I know that you've had a very unique approach to building your business, and I want you to share a little bit, especially for someone that is like a digital native, and where she finds everything about anything that she wants to purchase online. You've grown this business exclusively. I think at the beginning, or I don't know if today it's still a big portion through referrals. Tell us a little bit about how that works, what that means, and how, I mean, that is significant. That's exactly right. And how do you, because once somebody comes and fixes my AC, like, I mean, what are you doing to get those referrals?
Yeah,
Well, first of all, let me ask you, have you ever had someone come in and fix your AC or your plumbing or your electrical, anything like that? That brings you a welcome gift for being a first-time customer. Do they do that?
Never.
Right. Exactly. Do they know sometimes, you'll be on the phone and you'll call in for a service like that and you're like, "Oh, I'm taking my daughter to school, so I can't come to that, I can't make that appointment time." And they'll be like, "What's your daughter's name?" And you'll tell them, "Sophia, I'm taking her to her school." "Okay, no problem. Let's schedule you this time, Miss Bosch." And then when the technician comes to your house, does he say, "How was it taking Sophia to school?"
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
It's the little things that people don't realize that make the world of difference. Like, we had a customer one time that, when my text got there, her father was just, like, had a heart attack, and so she's like, "I'm sorry, I have to go." And so she went, her father, had a heart attack, and he was fine, everything is good. But, what my office did was they sent her, like, sorry flowers or something and a handwritten card from our manager, and that takes a lot, like, we have to build that into our culture. Like, the technicians need to know to let my dispatch office know, "Hey, I went to this house and this is the reason why this lady had to bump her appointment," or whatever. And then my dispatch office has to let the managers or supervisors know, "Hey, this happened to this customer." And so then there's a back end process that we have, and now it's streamlined. But when we first started, I mean, at first it was me. I was doing it, and my husband would tell me so and so happened with this customer, or that happened with this customer. We were just, I put all the data in the system, and then we just made sure that once we started building a team, our team knows that that's our culture, is that someone hurts themselves, someone's in the hospital, someone's this. you need to communicate that back to us because that sucks for that customer. Let's see if we can do something to brighten their day. Let me send them some flowers. Let me send them edible arrangements. Let's send them some cookies, you know. We know our customers' pets' names, you know. We know what schools the kids go to. Oh, Sophia's interested in college. She's doing college tours. How's that going? What college is she interested in? Oh, I might know somebody there. So it's like we've built a little community and it's because we really care. And I felt like that was what was missing from all the big businesses I've ever worked for. And so I just made sure that when we came into this business, we did that. You know, we took care of our customers. We let them know that we really care about them. And I think that's what's missing sometimes in the digital space is that there's not that like one-on-one connection. And people think like, okay, can I scale? Like I told you, the company we worked for was a $600 million business. And people are like, can I scale a business locally without going nationwide? That business we worked for was not nationwide. And the answer is yes, you can totally scale. Think about how many people live in these neighborhoods. You of most of everybody knows how many people live in certain areas, you know, with the multifamily business. So it's like there's millions and millions of people. I live in Houston. There's 8 million people here. It's like we can make good money. It can be lucrative and it can still feel like a down home business. You know, you just have to put a little bit more effort and it has to be built into the company culture.
Yeah. That
It turns like a regular transaction into relationship.
is into a relationship. Absolutely.
That's right.
You know, as she was speaking, you know what I was thinking of exactly what you just mentioned. Sophia is reading.
Yeah, so I've read it before, but I'm rereading it right now just because I love it. It's the book Unreasonable Hospitality.
Oh, yes. I've heard of that. I hadn't read it though.
So
Oh my gosh.
recommend.
Yeah, highly recommended, and it sounds exactly what you're doing in a completely different business. That is basically
In the restaurant
business.
to get to the #1 restaurant in the world, like
Oh, I love that.
salary of it. But in order for them to get there,
It's this,
it'd be unreasonable.
it's this
Or like
this experience of like a first time customer bringing a little gift. That is like that's nobody expects it. It's almost so outside the box. That it's unreasonable. To expect an HV company or HVAC company to bring that, and yet that's what makes you stand out.
so.
Right. And let me tell you, I know like they're gonna knock me for like telling our biggest secrets, but our welcome gift is most of them are these awesome pizza cutters. They last like 15 years. We have people request it. Like when like if it were to break down or if they want to give their friend one or whatever, they will call and be like, do you have your little pizza cutters? You know, and it's just so funny because it's like it's not that big of a gift. It's not that big of a deal, but people love it. I mean, I love it. It is the best pizza cutter I've ever used. I have to bring you one next time I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's and it's how do you package it? It there's so much that goes into. Now,
It's so random, but it's so memorable.
yeah, it is. It is. Now, when you're hiring, Sarah, like you, I mean, a big piece of what makes you incredibly successful is culture. You just said it. Um, but sometimes I feel like you can maybe there's a portion of it that you can instill in people, but there's parts of it that I mean you have to have that kind of a mindset to begin with. Like how are you hiring, especially in an industry where you would think, okay, this is not a person that went for a 4-year degree probably to a university, and how are you going to bring them to understand this level of customer service and and fulfillment and satisfaction? Like what are you looking at when you're hiring to begin?
When I'm hiring, I'm looking for people who are masters at their craft, whatever their craft is. I am looking for people who want to be the best at what they do. Like if their name is attached to something, they just want to master it. It kind of makes me feel like the way you would look at when you're looking at an athlete. Like athletes are always trying to get better. They're not going to be like, oh, I've gotten, this many goals or I've scored so many points, I'm done. They're always like, how can I practice? How can I get better? And so when we interview, we have certain questions that we ask. And I want to know, what are you mastering? Like, do you care about, getting better in any way. Like, what books do you read? What skills are you building? And most of the time, the people that we hire that are really good, like you said, they don't come in saying like, I want to do this to build customer rapport. That we help them. We train them, we teach them. I have weekly meetings with my team. I have daily like little pep talks with my team. And so that kind of stuff, like, we can instill in them. But what I need in you is I need you to care. I want you to be a person that goes above and beyond, that's always working on yourself, wants to up level in life. If you have that winning mindset, I don't think that we won't have a problem training you on building that rapport and going the extra mile for the customer, because you already go the extra mile for yourself. So of course you're going to want to do that for your customer. And that's how the referrals happen, is that when these guys do that, guys and gals, everybody on our team is a master at their craft, like from CSR to dispatch to technicians to installers to park runners. I mean, everyone is like, they care a lot about their work. We put a lot of KPIs in place for each role. And then we tell them, we're like, let's get your name on those reviews, because like our reviews is how we get our referrals. So after people give you a review, they're like 56% more likely to give you a referral. So
Like a review, like on Yelp, you mean? Or
anywhere. Well, we have a streamlined system now where if you just give us one review, it pushes out to all our platforms. So we'll go to Yelp, not everybody wants it to go everywhere, so they're allowed to unselect it. But all you have to do is give it to us on our like technology or whatever, the app. And then once you give it there, it pushes it out. But all we ask the customer for is a review. And so, yes, you make that great first impression. You make a lasting impression with the customer. You deliver outstanding service no matter what it is that you do. And then you get them to give you a review. And all of our everyone in our team, if our customer mentions their name in the reviews, they're incentivized for that. I want that, because that means you provided something outstanding, whether you're answering the phone, whether you're installing something, like you did something that stood out, that they remembered your name. And I want everyone to strive for that. So it's like gamifying it, making it like, okay, this is a game. Who's my all-star player, And so someone steps up almost every time, and that's all we need.
Yeah. Okay, I have my AC breaks down there. It's Phoenix, Arizona, and you bring
Best market.
you show up on time. You actually show up perhaps on the day that I need you. You bring me a gift. You do, an amazing job. I pay, and then you text me and ask for the referral. How does this actually happen?
Well, actually, it's planting seeds from the get-go. When you go, if you like, let's say you filled out a form online to have your appointment scheduled, you're going to see that like we strive to get 5-star reviews, blah blah blah. It's not going to ask you for one, but it's going to let you know. Like, we care about our reviews. When the girls are on the phone booking the appointments, they're going to let you know, man, we strive for excellent 5-star service. So they're planting little baby seeds. When our technicians come out there, they're like, I want to do everything, Miss Bosch, to make sure you have 5-star outstanding service. So we're planting all these little seeds that by the time you get our request, you're like, Lord, y'all have asked me so many times, I might as well just go ahead and do it. Plus, if we've given you a gift, this is like just kind of psychology one-on-one. If we've gone above and beyond and we've given you a gift and we've made this memorable
Reciprocity that you have built up.
Exactly. Yeah, we've talked to you about your kid. We play with your little doggy. We give your doggy a treat, because my guys carry little doggy treats, and if you allow it, they'll give the little doggy treat. Like, I've had customers send pictures of one of our technicians reading a book to their like 3-year-old child. You know what I'm saying? If we do stuff like that, and then all we ask you for is just a 5-star review, then after you give us your 5-star review, right away, right? It's automated. Right away, we're like, hey, if you loved our service, and I'm sure you know someone else who's not so happy with their HVAC guy or electrician, plumber, because like now I'm LP in other companies, so like we gotta put this in a bunch of other companies, and so we're just like asking, like, do you want to help your friend out, your mom, your grandma, whatever? Can you just give us a couple names? Almost always, it's just they just come through.
Okay.
We have to turn down calls. Phoenix, in the middle of summer, if I was in your area, we'd probably have to turn down some calls, because like come summer when we're peak heat, I mean, we're just so busy, and we can't grow to keep up with the demand.
Wow.
Fast enough.
Yeah,
That is.
yeah.
That is.
Being that's being
I'm scared of Scottsdale. I've been offered. I helped advise a couple of companies that are out there, and Scottsdale market is brutal in the summer, right? And summer like for almost half the year. So
Now, I always think so. So there's the referral. Now, I know you mentioned that you're now looking to partner, with venture capital or, private equity. Um, so the model now is no longer a model of like something breaks and I call you and you come and you fix it. From a higher perspective, 360-degree view up on top. Now you've added. I hear that there's now, for example, um, an added component of continuity. That it's not just when my AC breaks down, but that you're basically adding to your business model some sort of continuity. Are you all doing that as well? Like, how does that look like, and what does that mean to for example, in your P&L, if you can, if you can open and share with us, like, eh, how much is that, jumping up your income and therefore your multiple when looking attractive, to private equity and be bought, basically be positioning yourself for an exit.
Yes. So I my expertise is in HVAC. I
Yeah.
have not broken fully into electrical or plumbing because I don't have enough scale yet on the pricing and if they're doing it right. But what I have done is I have joined private equity groups that do hold plumbing and electrical. So I'm learning that part still. Their
Yeah.
profit margin is very different from HVAC, and I haven't learned the ins and outs yet. So our company, Be Cool AC and Heating, I have not joined that with any other trade. I keep it HVAC specific right now because until I finish our deal where we partner with somebody, I would prefer to do that through strategic partnership where they have the expertise. Could I do it? Yes, but maybe it would take me like 5 to 7 years to master certain things in order to do that. Otherwise, if I partner with the right partner, then maybe we can do it faster, like within the next 1 to 2 years. And I don't know that we'll ever join Be Cool's brand with like a plumbing division or an electrical division. I don't know if that will happen while I'm part owner in it. Could it happen in the future as the company continue scaling and maybe I don't serve as the only operator? Maybe so. But the other companies that I sit with, I've just found that their profit margin is a lot lower than ours. And I don't know if it's because are they not negotiating the correct contract deals with the manufacturers? Are they not pricing it correctly? Are they overpaying the staff? Like, what's happening that their profit margin is so low? And I will tell you that across all trades, this is the unsexy part, but it can be sexy if you know what you're doing. Is that in HVAC, for example, most mom and pop HVAC places, their net profit sits at their profit margin sits at about like 2% profit margin.
Yeah.
That is really, really bad, and it's really, really low. And you'll find companies
That's
that are
not the businesses that Cody Sanchez is talking. Sophia's following Cody Sanchez. And, she's talking about boring, predictable businesses that include, trades and car washes and so on and so forth. And so that's where all these questions are coming from, or just from us basically following her and wanting to understand a little bit, because I mean we have an expert here in at least in this one field, in this one industry. So
well, I'm not familiar with Cody, but people have mentioned her to me before, and so I'm not familiar with her work in particular, but I know some people who are speaking to this, they're making it sound like it's super simple. And I will tell you, non-skilled trades, so like car washes and grass, what is it called, landscaping, not the huge commercial landscaping, but just regular mowing people's lawn, residential landscape, things like that, power washing. I do feel like, yes, maybe those are a little bit easier for someone on the outside to come in and be able to like buy the business from a baby boomer, because this is what's happening. The baby boomers that have built these businesses, they have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million businesses. Some of them, I mean, I bought one not too long ago for $40,000 and it was a $2 million business. And then that automatically hits your top line revenue, And so then you see little.
she wants to know what business you bought now.
So it's like, some of the baby boomers, they don't want to take the time to clean it up. And I always I'm not a vulture. Like, I don't come in and just steal it or rob it. I always tell them, like, this is my plan and we can do this together if you want, and you can keep some equity. But some of them are just like, I'm just done. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I want some money. I just want to walk away. I don't want the headache. And so you're lucky if you find a deal like that. They're there, but you just have to, you have to talk. You have to maybe go to some lunches. That's why it's a local type thing, like boots on the ground. You're like talking to people one on one. You're going to these chamber of commerce events, and you find them. But the point that I was making was that with the trade skills, someone who has no experience in the skilled labor, like if I like right now, the reason I haven't moved faster on electrical or plumbing is because I don't know anything about electrical or plumbing. Neither does my husband.
Okay, it's the technical expertise. In order to deliver superior service, you want to have that, master.
Yeah, because what's going to happen if let's say if I bought one of those and the operator, the baby boomer, whoever owns it, let's say they didn't want to be part of it. They just maybe wanted equity, but they don't want to advise. They don't want to be in the day to day. And then I take it over and I don't know this. And then I can't hold the employees accountable. What's going to happen is my reputation as it for B Cool is going to go down the drain because we're going to mess up. Everybody's going to mess up. And if I had more time before I fully exit, like maybe I'd be okay making some mess ups. But right now it's just like we need to slow it down.
Yeah, makes complete sense. Makes absolutely complete sense. Yeah. I know, for example, our AC company here has added a component of you pay a monthly fee or you can do it annually, and then they come also once a year preemptively, to kind of like check on the units because we have four units here, and what I have noticed is that yes, maybe out of the four, three are okay, but there's always one of them that needs something. And all of a sudden now, how I see it, as a business owner, I'm like, oh, okay. So now you not only have the aspect of when something breaks, as a revenue, component, but now you have this aspect of continuity with the monthly payments, for this service and an additional, income generator when you find something that needs to be preemptively, taken care of to ensure that by the time May comes around and we're already hitting the first, triple digits, that we're gonna be okay. So, and it's all happening like well, not right now, January, but basically March and April. This is big season for that, in preparation for the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in places where it's cold, it would be like October in preparation for the, and in the heat, because I mean Houston can get, I think, cooler, but also really hot and humid.
Right. And let me just tell you, your company's not taking advantage of that fall checkup. I would have given you 2 checkups in your city. Why? Because even though your furnace, you might not need your furnace or your furnace or your heater needs to be operating at peak performance in order for your AC to run. If it's not being checked, then that means your AC can go down. So what I will tell you, that company that I bought for 40,000, they had none of those. What those are called is they're called maintenance plans. And this is the customer loyalty built in, right? And so if you as a company don't have that, like the guy that sold me his business, the reason why he sold it so cheap is because he had none, zero.
Okay.
So yes, he has 1 million, 2 million in revenue top line, but what's those customers aren't sticky, right? And now had he had at least maybe 50% of his client database on that, he could have sold 4 to 6x multiple.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So he missed out on that because he has zero preventative maintenance. And this is that stuff, like the people who are pitching boring businesses, like the Cody Sanchez and stuff like that. When they say that you buy these businesses, skilled trade or not, the mom and pops, they're missing out on a lot of opportunity because they're not doing any customer loyalty. They're doing no referrals. They're doing no technology. So like, you don't know, are they going to come out on time or are they not going to come out on time? And is it a hassle for you to book with them? The user experience as a customer, it's terrible. It's like you have to call them. Somebody might be on a smoke break, so they don't answer their phone. So it's like there's so much like old school stuff that they're doing wrong that it's really easy to come into these businesses and put in just a few things, a little bit of infrastructure, a little bit of customer loyalty, a little bit of automated reviews. And then next thing you know, boom, you got a $10 million business from 1 to 10 million, as long as you're willing to do the work and you have the skills to know to do that. What I see happening though is the cons of this industry is that you are in the skilled labor, electrician, plumbing, HVAC, some roofer, some flooring.
Yeah.
Those trades, like the skilled labor is dying. That's the reason I go speak at universities and stuff like that, to remind people like, hold on, wait a minute, gals and guys, you can make a lot of money. I have ladies working for me that have made, 70, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 in inside sales and in, management, lead positions. I have guys that work for me that have made $300,000 a year. I mean, this is great. And you go to school for what, six months, to a year to do this, and you don't accumulate a lot of debt because you can do a lot of this training in community college. And because this trades, like, because the government knows that not very many people are going into trades, there's so many grants, so many scholarships, so you don't even have to pay for this tuition or this college or whatever. And so it's like this, there is a lucrative, option here. And so for younger people, this is definitely an opportunity because you can look into this, and it's recession proof. It's very good, work. But then for people buying these businesses, that's our biggest problem. It's skilled labor is hard to find. And when you get in there near the operator and you've got all this business and you don't have enough people to run the calls, then you're turning down business. It makes you look unreliable. So that is the cons of our industry, is there's an ongoing shortage of employees and people wanting to get into this industry. And it's sad because
Yeah.
there's a lot of perks.
Yeah, but it seems like, I mean, you're trying to get your future employees, out of possible colleges and so on and so forth, and then the government might be doing something about it as well. So that's good to hear, because we do need this kind of service. Absolutely.
And when you think of like AI, this is, some of these jobs are the kind of jobs that it's going to take a long time for AI to be able to take your place, So that's the security of the trades, which is pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, a human or something. Oh, yeah, at some point, maybe we'll have a robot that'll come. Maybe it could happen.
They are constantly changing the unit, so maybe one day a robot can diagnose the problem and come out and fix it. It might happen.
Yeah, it absolutely. Now, how do you go from ACs to Vita Restore? What is Vita Restore?
Vita Restore is a health and wellness brand. I know it's hilarious, but it's like all of my businesses are just kind of like, I needed something, so then we create it, And so
Okay.
with Vita Restore, what was happening is like, health is the biggest wealth. I don't, everyone that can think their own thoughts, but if you don't got health, everything else falls down the drain. So for me, it's like I was realizing that the root cause of a lot of my problems was like parasites, and I didn't even know it. I'm from a foreign country. I'm an immigrant to America, and so I travel back home a lot. I come home and I've got like stomach. I don't even realize that I have a problem until I find out I have a vitamin deficiency. And then, so when I worked with functional doctors, we found out that it was parasites. So I started doing like parasite cleansing with my doctors, and they were prescribing all these herbs, and I had to look all around to get all the things I needed. So Emily Countryman, who's been on your show, her and I were talking one day, and she's been in the health and wellness community, and her and I do the same type of cleanses. And we were just like, we should just make our own because it's so much easier. And now I don't have to hunt down and worry about it's making what, does it have heavy metals, blah, blah, blah. So like, we did it, and we had.
Yeah, sourcing great quality ingredients. Yeah, that's important. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super
So
important.
now it's like, yeah, we got the bloat buster, which is awesome. We just got all these things that just help to maintain health. And so I love it, and I use them all the time. And so that's where that came from, is like kind of just necessity.
And it makes sense with creating generational wealth, because it's yet another income stream. Like, multiple streams of income is part of creating financial wealth. And you have it in something that you're passionate about, not just in the AC, but also in something that is directly affecting your well-being, like you mentioned. And you found yourself a partner that is a master at that, so that do you start to see how she operates? Yeah. And how she's basically getting into different lines of businesses by basically having real strategic partnerships and alliances, or, ventures with other people that are really, really good at their job. And that allows you to keep, like you said, uh, outside of operations, while still, bringing a service that is good, that is necessary, that is needed, and it's still being delivered at unreasonable hospitality levels. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is amazing.
And
Now,
we talked to like I'm having my second round of kids. My husband's older than me, and I had my first round of kids, and we're trying to build generational wealth. And so one of the things I learned really fast that my first round of kids, they're in their 20s, and we thought they were going to get into HVAC, and that was going to be the legacy. And then I found out real quick they hate HVAC, and so they want to do their own thing. I mean, I don't know. I guess a lot of us entrepreneurs, we hope our kids do exactly what I do, but they could have different passions, you know? So that's what my family does. I run my family kind of like I run my businesses. We have a family trust. We have quarterly meetings. If you don't join the meetings, you get kicked out the trust. Like, but we have like all the little, you know, I'm watching like what the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and all of them did right, and I'm trying to put that into ours. Am I making mistakes? Yes, but the point of the matter is that you need to learn for financial literacy so you can maintain this finance. We're bringing you different streams of income that will hopefully pour into this, and you need to know how to maintain it and sustain the family wealth so that you can have a level up, and then hopefully our grandkids can have a level up. And so that's what we're doing. We just finished our quarterly meeting last Saturday with my family. 3 of the kids didn't come in, they got kicked out. They don't get their allowance for the next, 3-4 months until we have our next meeting. But that's the point of this is that I'm not building it for yeah, I'm not building this for them to like, mess it up in one generation. Like we're not going to do that. We need to sustain this. And it pours into the foundations that we help out in Africa with putting wells in and stuff like that, helping people get water. And so this is like the family legacy. And so that's why I love what you guys are doing too, because you learn about all the different industries. I don't care what industry you go into, but you're going to continue to build that well. My parents didn't leave their home countries, and I didn't leave my home country to come here for you to squander it. So, like, we're gonna make something out of this. Oh, mm, she, well, I love y'all are doing the same thing, and I love it.
I love it. As the kid perspective, I is and on top of it, only child. Let's put that out there.
Yeah,
no stress.
lots of pressure.
I got it. I understand, but that's why I know they tell me. I was actually just talking about this with a friend today. I know they tell me, like, oh, no pressure, Sophia. Like, I understand you are super busy with all the other stuff that you do that we love that you are doing these things. Like, it is going to teach you so many valuable skills for the future to continue on this family legacy. But specifically the land flipping business, I don't I don't know if I'm gonna be doing it forever. But I know how important it was for them, or like to them, for me to learn it.
Yeah.
And I was able to learn it, kind of.
Yeah. She's done one deal for $36,000 profit.
You see, I do understand it. So if I would have, or like if I were to do it again, I understand how to do it again, and I will be doing it again because that $36,000 was a nice added bonus to my bank account.
Yeah, because she did that. Because we don't do allowances here in our family, so we're like, you got to build your own allowance. But I love this idea of having quarterly, basically financial family meetings, where you're standing and looking at assets, money.
I mean, to be fair, they also
Bank statements.
the one thing I will be taking over, like 100% is the multifamily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're trying to grow now.
Yeah, whatever at that point. I don't know if you're gonna sell it, but because you typically it's like a little bit shorter term.
Yeah, there's some projects that we basically go in and out, within 5 years, and then there's some that we like to hold long term.
Yeah. So whatever
Yeah.
it may be, whenever I gain operating
Access.
access, I will be helping to run that. So I go with my dad. There's a property here in Phoenix. We go, especially when you guys were looking for some investors. He would take me on the property, and we would walk the property with the investors. I would be listening, and he's like, Sophia, you don't have to say anything, but just listen. He's like,
I love that.
and the fact that you're here also tells the people investing that this is gonna last many different generations.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah. We
security with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I love that.
we actually heard from one of our property management companies from one of the properties here in town that there's been some loitering happening on the property. And we're like, what's happening? We usually install like quite a bit of lighting so that any, bad apples, usually the light will take out the darkness, right? You know that.
Right.
And but that something had come up, and Jack basically in the evening, he's like, I want to wait until it's a little bit darker. And
We were on our way home from like a dinner or something.
it takes Sophia along to go check out what's going on.
Look around. He's like, okay, I need more light here. Maybe we need it. So like, it was amazing to see his mind just go away for him. The needs to be else to be a fence, something with electric maybe. I need a gate. I need other security. Like, he's like, I'm gonna implement them all this week. I'm gonna talk to this person and this. I'm like,
Yeah. So
I so love that. I love that. The exposure, not only from your parents, and just like you said, let's say you don't do land flipping forever, the exposure of just learning all of this stuff is amazing because you can take that into any field and you're gonna do wonders. And so that's all we do. I don't when we have our meetings with our kiddos, I'm not trying to instill in them only HVAC related stuff. I want them to get the mindset. I want them to get the work ethic. I want them to get the strategic, planning and building and all that. I want them to pick that stuff up because then I know you want to be an artist, you want to be I don't know, you want to be a dancer, you want to be a pianist, whatever you want to be, you can be it, but just have a business mindset to it so that it's cash flowing, so that you are also building wealth, so you're contributing to society. Like I need my whole, I would love my legacy to carry that on. Like
Yeah.
my legacy are my children. So
correct.
they also know that I'm not gonna. And they know that I have my own
Interests and pursuits. Yeah.
but they already have told me like, oh, Sophia, you could do something with real estate in that. Like, because it was one of my goals to own my own art gallery.
nice.
So
That.
they're like, you can own the real estate of where the art gallery is.
Yeah.
You can.
Isn't McDonald's like the biggest real estate holder in the US or something like that, right? So it's like, yeah, you could still have your talent, but hey, real estate is always a great.
Yeah.
And I always tell her, wherever the artists are, usually starts being inexpensive real estate. Then they go this area, usually where the artists are, goes through a gentrification, and values go up. And so you want to buy when values are lower. And so there is a real estate play with whatever, she's interested in.
Told me, and they are supporting me through that. Yeah, so
I love that. I love that. Real estate is great. I love it. I have my little tentacles in real estate. We got in real estate and crypto. Like I don't play with too much crypto, but just a little bit. But it's just like, as things change, as market, that's one of the best things about real wealth is that like you build your own economy. It's like if one industry is having a downtime, you got another industry supporting you. And that's a great feeling. It's freedom and it allows you to make choices from a place of abundance instead of feeling like falling into fear and making choices from that place, and that's always a great place to be.
And especially some of those income buckets are from, like, we were discussing, an industry where there's not so much volatility, where actually, it's predictable and people will need it always. Everyone's thinking always about, oh, what's the new thing? What is going to change? But sometimes the question that we need to ask ourselves, and I think Bezos is somebody that asks himself that question, is what stays the same? What will always be the same? What will always people want, and need? And so
always need a home, so real estate, or like a place to live. And yes, in that place to live, they need to be either cool or warm.
yeah, see, that's absolutely. Yeah.
So we make some good choices, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now, Sarah, I know we don't want to take much of your time, but just to wrap up, as a final question, for any woman, whether our age or her age, that it might be listening to us, any final pieces of advice regarding income, generating income, managing a business, or creating lead gen, sales, since you're a sales expert, anything that comes to mind, or mindset wise?
Okay, it's gonna be mindset because it's gonna be totally different from everything else I've said today. Because most of my stuff has been real practical, but now I'm gonna get a little to the magic is that for women, especially if I'm talking to women at any age, we have been granted the most beautiful gift, which is our intuition. It is so strong. You don't know how many times think about all my industries, oil and gas and HVAC. I'm with all guys. And what sets me apart and what has given me the most um I guess, like, what's an edge, help me up level, yes. What's given me the edge, what's differentiated me is that I am a woman. I am in touch with my intuition. When I first said welcome gifts, everybody laughed at me. When I worked at that $600 million business, I told them, I said, let's do it because our reputation was bad at that business. We had a whole department dedicated to taking off negative reviews. They still do. They have a whole department that their only job, they wanted me to manage that department. I was like, no, how about let me get in front of it and be proactive and let's not get the negative reviews by doing the right thing to the customer. But let's not even go there. But what they laughed me out of the room when they were like, "How can we increase customer loyalty, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Let's give them some gifts. Let's do a give back. Let's bring in, like have a crawfish boil because I'm in Texas and there's a whole crawfish boil season. Let's have a crawfish boil outside in this giant parking lot and invite our top customers that have spent like 20,000 or more, whatever, And like they were like, Sarah, this is ridiculous. Like they would always laugh at that kind of stuff. And it's like some of that stuff makes the biggest difference. And so I think for all women out there, no matter your industry, no matter what you're doing in life, I think we have like that gut feeling where we know when something's telling us like we got to take action on this, or we know something's like, no, don't do this, even though everyone around you might be saying, yes, do it. If you have that gut feeling and you know it from within, that's something bigger than you speaking to you, whether it's your highest self, whether it's God, whatever you believe in. Okay. That's something bigger than you guiding you. And when you neglect that or suppress it or ignore it, it's not in your best interest. So I always say when you feel it that strongly, go with it, even when it sounds crazy, and let's just see what magic can come out of that.
Yeah.
If nothing, even if you fall into a mistake, you learn some of the best lessons. I've learned my best lessons from mistakes. And so that's my advice to all women.
I love that, and we forget that we are magic on legs. Do you mentor women on intuition or anything like that by chance?
I don't know if you remember, I did it for a while. I went online and I was an online coach. It was very lucrative, but that intuition pulled me back from it. And I just kind of, I went a different route, but I can see in the future, like I think for me right now, I need to finish securing this business. I haven't even been in HVAC 10 years. So it's like I need to finish like what's happening here locally and like really try to change the industry locally. Let me see what I can do with that. And but I am, I'm on Instagram as Entrepreneur Sarah. I have a podcast called Renegade Revolution Radio. It's on hiatus for the last year because my dad passed, and so I took time to like reevaluate a lot of things. But we're gonna get kicked back up again. That's all free information. I'm pretty sure I have a free abundance webinar online. I have so much free stuff. I have a whole referral building kit somewhere online. Just go to my link.
We would love your whole referral building kit for sure.
Send it to you. Yeah, a great PDF, like 25 pages, something like that. It's so much free information. And like I've had ladies email me and they're like, Sarah, I implemented this and my business hit 1 million. Any small business can hit 1 million if you implement that. If you're in the trades or anything like home services where you're face to face with the customer, implement it.
Okay, so we find you on Facebook or Instagram or where and under what?
You can find me on Instagram at Entrepreneur Sarah, and that's Sara, no H. Or you can go to my website, sarahyagu.com, and I'm sure all the free stuff is on there, and you can just grab it. But Michelle, I'll email it to you.
Perfect. And I just wanted to make sure that if anyone listening, wanted to have it, I'm like, they can go to your website, which is fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Sarah. It's been an amazing time, enlightening. I mean, I always like her energy is like, amazing. So
yours is too. It's reciprocal. Are you coming to? I hope you are coming to Texas soon. Are you checking out colleges?
Get to check out colleges, actually.
Yeah, we are going to be looking at University of Texas at Austin, but we also have a property, 96 units in Dallas. So I might just stop by and say hello to you and to Mayosha as well, also in Houston.
Come on, we'd love it. And those are you have UT is a great college. I couldn't go there because I was a party animal and it was too hard for me. But I went to the opposite A&M for a year.
You went to Texas?
Yeah, but then I left there too. I ended up.
But now Texas A&M has an amazing reputation. So
yeah, so great. I mean, a lot of great colleges. So
yeah,
good for you.
Well, thank you so much. And for everyone listening, thank you so much for being with us on another episode of Becoming Wealthy. Leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to go do it.
And share this episode with an amazing women in your life. And looking forward to being with you on the next episode of the podcast. Thank you so much.